Good ladies and gents, welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you can get notified of any new content on this channel. So just a little bit of news here. Of course, Eddie Hearn, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, that triangle, you know, they always go back and forth on Twitter and the social media. They've been going back and forth lately. Eddie Hearn has said that, you know, I think Tyson Fury said something about Eddie Hearn's not a fighter, blah, blah, blah. Eddie Hearn retorted and said, well, look, I'm not a fighter, but me and you, Tyson, have got the same amount of title defenses. Number of title defenses being 0, which is true because Tyson Fury, fantastic fighter, but the fact of the matter is he's never ever actually defended any of the belts he's got. He's pretty much, he's had all the belts, won them off Klitschko, but then he went off the rails. He never gave Klitschko the rematch and he never defended any belts. And even this WBC one, that hasn't been defended, you know, so we're still awaiting him and Wilder, which hopefully happens in October the 9th. But yeah, Hearn's right. Yeah, he's never actually defended a belt. So fair enough. Good point by Hearn. And yeah, so Fury's come out and he's said a few crazy things. He said he's got like a hit list, and it's one of these things with him where you never know whether he's just talking for the sake of talking. He's talking to hype up his fight with Wilder, or it's one of these, you never know whether he's actually serious about what he's saying or whether he's just clowning around or joking, because he's one of these people, he's all over the place sometimes. He's quite inconsistent. He's with a lot of what he says. I mean, even his opinion on Joshua versus Usyk has flip-flopped. Oh, Usyk can beat him. Joshua, he's only a cruiserweight. So Joshua, he does contradict himself. So he's put out this hit list, which includes Wilder. Obviously, that's scheduled for October the 9th. And he's put also names like Dillian Whyte. And this is a weird one because Dillian Whyte's a guy he's flip-flopped on as well. He's got this hit list saying Chisora, even as I think as the last name on this hit list, but he's got Chisora, Whyte, Joshua, and Wilder as being these guys that are on his hit list. And you know, it's one of these where I don't know whether to take it serious. As of right now, for me, I don't believe he's scared of any of these guys, but I would say that I doubt the sort of legitimacy of this so-called hit list, because he hasn't really shown any interest in any of these guys before. So I mean, apart from Chisora, who he beat twice, so we can say, right, cool. You know, he dealt with that back in the day. You don't really have to fight him. But when it's come to Dillian Whyte, he's been flip-flopping, because Dillian Whyte, you know, he wanted to fight him, and his Fury said, yeah, we'll get the opportunity. And then another time he's saying the complete opposite. You've been knocked out by 40-year-old man, blah blah blah. I'm not giving you nothing, sort of thing. And it's kind of been a flip-flop. And the thing, and also with Anthony Joshua, for me, if he does beat Wilder again, which I think is most likely, I think that's, out of all this hit list, I think that's the one I'd probably like to see the most, because provided he wins, Joshua wins, that's an undisputed title fight. So I'd like to see that, if both men are successful. But whether or not he's serious about it, I don't know. I really don't know, because it's like we've heard this talk before and nothing's come of it. So who knows? The Whyte one, I don't know. I think that's one where, again, would be a good fight to see. I definitely favour Tyson Fury to win that one. I just think he's the better all-rounder, and he's just got skills for day sort of thing. But I think Whyte would present a challenge to him. Definitely would present a challenge to him, and it's one where I think just the media stuff on it, the press conferences, would be fantastic if they ever were to fight. If Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury ever were to fight, the media coverage, the press conferences, the interviews, the face-off, everything would just be. I mean, for that reason alone, I suppose it would be good to see Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury. Well, and it's one of them where that's his list. It's out there: Chisora, Whyte, Joshua, and Deontay Wilder. He says, yeah, he wants these guys. These are his hit list guys, and he wants to fight these guys before he retires. Fair enough. Is he being genuine with this, or is he just talking? You guys let me know what you think about it. I think it's most probably just talk, just sort of bluster. It might be to help towards selling his current fight. I think it is probably more along those lines than actually being genuine. I'm not convinced that it's a genuine thing. I think it might be just talk. But let me know what you guys think. And yeah, he also made another interesting claim that when asked, was Deontay Wilder the hardest puncher in history? Because many people have been saying, oh, Wilder is the hardest hitter in history. He hits so hard, blah, blah, blah. And I believe, yes, he is. He may be one of the hardest punchers in history, but this is one of those things where you can't really prove it. I mean, it's one of those things where you can't prove it because obviously you're talking about guys that have died and passed on. You had guys like Sonny Liston who hit incredibly hard. You know, everyone knows Mike Tyson hit incredibly hard, and yeah, it's one of those things where you can't really judge it. You can only just say, you can only just give an opinion on it. But I think in terms of our day and age, you could argue that he's the hardest puncher of the current heavyweights, perhaps. But again, with punching power, that alone does not win boxing matches. You've got to have something more than just punching power, because if you come up against a guy that's a good boxer who's quite slick and who knows how to make you miss, then you're not going to be able to land your shots. So it's not really going to matter. As my dad always used to say, it doesn't matter how hard you miss. So even with having that good punching power, even if you do punch the hardest, you've got to land those punches. Wilder, I would say he's definitely an argument for being, of this day and age now, being the hardest puncher, but that's just an opinion. That's just my opinion on it. And Fury went on to say, well, yeah, you're asking me about him, but I knocked him out. So therefore, I'm the hardest puncher in history. And again, this is absolutely absurd. We know for a fact, you're just watching box to know that he can punch a bit. He can definitely punch a bit, and he proved that against Deontay Wilder that he definitely does punch hard enough to knock guys out. But again, generally speaking, he's not really a guy that you would consider a puncher, because he does most of his stuff with movement and on points and stuff like that. He's not really a sort of one punch knockout artist. I think he's a guy that if he gets you with a series of punches, he gets you with a combination, he'll wear you out and he can knock you out. But he's got respectable power, but not historically great punching power, because even in this era, I think a guy like Anthony Joshua is more of a puncher. He gets guys out of there quicker, and he's got genuine punching power. Same with sort of a Deontay Wilder, guys like that. But Tyson Fury, not so much. He did knock Wilder out, so he can punch a little bit. He's got respectable power, but not sort of one punch knockout power. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on Tyson Fury's hit list of who he wants to fight, is it genuine? And also let me know what you think about Fury claiming that because he knocked out Deontay Wilder, he is now the hardest puncher in boxing history. He's now inherited Deontay Wilder's status as the quote-unquote hardest puncher in boxing history. Let me know your thoughts on that, and until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. Catch you on the next one.